back around the way you want.
Yeah.
You guys did that. Calvin Watkins, Dallas Morning News. Saw Joe Milton didn't finish practice. What happened, man?
Yeah, hit his thumb. Got it clipped on a helmet. Trainers think he's fine. He had pretty good strength in it, but just with the game coming up in a couple of days, we just want to be smart with it. So do more testing, but I think he's fine.
Say fine as of right now, or is it just like we need more work before we can determine about something?
No, again, they feel really good about it. I'll get more information later today, but he felt like he could go back in. It was more of a precautionary thing where, like, he used up a lot of his velocity on that 75-yard bomb, and we're like, I think we'll just sit him out for a little while.
Thoughts overall on the scrimmage? I know it was hard for you to be on both fields, but just your thoughts on it.
Yeah, I thought it was great work. I mean, I told you guys yesterday, part of the reason why you do this is because of the scheme looks that you get. Like, we need different looks. We need the 3-4 looks. We needed some of the things that Chris Shula and his staff do and they present. And quite honestly, they gave us some fits, and we had some communication errors. And, run game wasn't great on offense. Some of the run-through linebackers, we got to do a better job against that. But we got a bunch of work and a bunch of different looks. And so, like anything, we'll go watch the film here in a little bit, and usually it's not as bad or as good. I think, a couple of the guys stepped up, made some big plays, but there's always things to learn from. But don't lose sight of why we do this. We do this for that exact reason, to get looks that we haven't seen and different blitzes and all that stuff. And then, of course, I didn't see any of the defense.
Dallas Cowboys.
You're in the back. Damn it.
Anyway,
You want to sit on the stage? You normally do.
well, I do it before you get.
Okay.
But is there anything that you focused on? You talked about the run offense and things like that. And certainly we were paying attention to Nate Thomas once against a guy like Jerry Burst for the first time. Can you talk about those things? How did Nate look?
Yeah, I thought, again, Verse a great player, number one. He's a terrific player, and he certainly is going to make his plays. He made a few plays. I think a couple of the plays were on, like, games and things, but I thought Nate battled. I thought there were some good things that he did. And, again, those reps, Clarence, are just priceless because the guys he goes against every day, Sam Williams and Donovan and Dante, they're just different looks and different body types. And but overall, I thought it was a good day. Again, I'm not going to say we played great. We didn't. I thought it was solid. But, we'll go and make the corrections. And great start for us getting ready to play these guys here in a couple of days.
Brian Schottenheimer with ESPN. That was the most work Will Greer's gotten. How do you think he did? And, what kind of camp, I guess?
Yeah, again, Will's been incredible in terms of just the way he's handled this whole situation, understanding that, Joe's going to get, so much work. And just as we try to develop him, I thought he did a really good job. The 2-minute was unfortunate at the end. He kind of got stuck, and we didn't block something well. They beat us on a little game, and he kind of tried to force it, got intercepted. But Will's a consummate pro, man. And, he's always going to be ready. Same thing. We weren't planning on having him get, many reps at all today. That was communicated to him, as you guys know. We like to always do. But that's what happens. That's football. So you get forced into it, and I thought he did some nice things and definitely understands our scheme so well.
With the Athletic, if you could just fix one thing about the run game today, what would it be?
The run-throughs, handling run-through linebackers. So what happens when you're double-teaming people, John, what happens is the linebackers, they have to make a decision. And so the linebackers were playing fast and downhill, and they were fitting their gaps. It's all based on how you try to build a wall on defense, and we just got to play with our eyes up a little bit better. We got fit on the double teams, but we didn't come off to the second level, so there's too much color at the point of attack.
And then with Turpin, how much do you think that he has kind of still in his bag to show offensively compared to, like, what he's shown up to this point as NFL career?
Well, we see, a lot. We see it every day, so we're not surprised by it. But guy's just a dynamic weapon, and, the things he can do, running and catching, and the quickness and the agility that he has is just different, And, I think we feel like we've got a much better sense for how we're using him. And late in practice today, we kind of moved him and moved CD outside, and Turp went inside, and those guys are a little bit interchangeable. But, yeah, I think he's going to have a fabulous year. I really do, in every facet.
Tommy Yarsh, DallasCowboys.com. I know you're keeping it fairly vanilla, but your first time with CD and Pickens against a defense that's not your own. What did you make of what they did as a tandem?
You see the problems that they create. I think they both made some really good plays. You see their ability to, separate contested balls and things like that. again, we're not game planning. We're literally being pretty vanilla. But those guys, you don't have to do much to get them open. And, I think there was a lot of flags thrown today, so we'll go look at those. There's we told the officials, hey, some of the rules emphasis with alignments and things like that, we want you to, throw the flags, keep track so we can talk to our guys and teach them, because more than likely that's the way they're going to call the preseason games. But specifically those two guys, I think they just feed off each other. And, it shows you that when you have one on one side, one on the other, it's pretty daunting for a defense.
Garrett Podell, CBS Sports. Brian, you talked about kind of the run offense wanting to be kind of your identity. It kind of seemed like the run opened up a little bit more after some passing success. Do you feel like maybe with, like you were just talking about, Lamb and Pickens, maybe building through the pass first, then getting to the run identity-wise for you guys offensively?
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, I feel like this, Garrett. You need to be able to run the ball when they know you're going to run it, and you need to be able to throw it when they know you have to throw it. And I thought we had a great 2-minute drive there at the end with the ones. That was really good. And, I think those guys certainly help you. Why do they help you? Because, if teams want to play us, an 8-man front or a 7-man front, which means one high defense. You guys all know that. Then those guys are on the outside one-on-one. And, you feel really good about those two guys' ability to win their matchups one-on-one. And, again, we could potentially get some light boxes because of the threat that we have on the outside.
Joe Hoyt, Dallas Morning News. You kind of touched on it a little bit, but the chance to go against these guys, then watch film, and then get a chance to maybe apply some lessons learned. How much of an opportunity is that in the immediate turnaround?
It's great. Again, it's great. We play these guys are a 3-4 defense. We play Baltimore. They're a 3-4 defense. So you get a couple of it back-to-back. Everybody plays different nickel packages, but, like, these guys have different blitzes that, we haven't seen, and you don't know some of the numbers. We haven't game plan. We don't, I can't tell you, who number 47 is for them. I have no idea. So, like, those present problems for you, which we'll certainly have a better idea who we're going against on game day. But today it was more about us, and it was just, hey, let's see what we do. Throw the ball out there and see what happens. Did some good things, need to do some things better.
How much was scripted today, and how much was kind of an adjustment?
I think we scripted 3 periods, and we had 3 call-its. So it was basically half and half.
Louis Scruggs, NBC5 Dallas. Can you speak to Mozzie's health, and did you get a chance to pay attention at all out here, and what did you see?
I did not. I know that, we're not concerned about Mozzie. He got some tests run, but again, I wasn't concerned. But again, I can't speak, to what he did over there today. We'll go watch the film here tonight, but we're not overly concerned about it.
When you were going through your process, talking with Matt Eberflus about how you wanted the full operation to run practice, building an ecosystem together, did you lean on anything that he had previously experienced, or as a head coach, or did you lean on anything that he wished he would have known when he first started the head job?
Yeah, first of all, Flus is amazing. He's got great insight for me. He's been a head coach. He's been a head coach that was the play caller, right? So there's incredible knowledge that he has there. Of course, there's things that he's like, hey, I wish I would have done this. I wish I would have done that. I go back to the start when we were doing the staff. Just the nightly meetings, him and I watching film and talking through philosophy and talking through, how as a coach, your resume is really what the film looks like. So you turn the film on, but, some of the, just the philosophical things that we've talked about, there really wasn't, a ton of things for us to iron out. He and I see the game very similarly, and the intensity and the style of his defense is great. I don't know if we created any turnovers today or not on defense, but because of the 2 separate fields. But I love having him. He's a hell of a coach, and again, a guy that I lean on quite a bit.
As you guys were talking, that you felt his experience level, having done this and being a high caliber of defensive play caller, take anything off your plate that you can funnel into other areas and spending your energy in other areas?
No, not at this moment. Again, I don't have to go in the defensive room that often. I'm in there some. I know it's in good hands. It's a veteran staff. Andre Curtis, David Overstreet, a lot of these guys have been with them. White Cotton. I'll watch it with them, tonight, obviously. But no, I have great, confidence in Matt. He communicates well to me, and like I said, we see the game the same way. So that's important.
Michelle Montaigne, WVA. Coach, how did it feel for you being out there calling plays again, and then for the first time, like, for your team?
Yeah, it was fun. It's always fun. You know, you get a chance to do this, and you've done it for a long time, but you get just kind of lost in the moment, you know, like, okay, hey, what down and distance is it? Okay, what's the situation? Okay, who's in the game? But look, at the end of the day, it's, you know, it's something that you think about when you get the job and you think about doing it, but when you're out there doing it, instincts take over, and you just call the game. And, you know, again, I think I had some plays I liked, some I didn't. But again, at the end of the day, I wanted to see if we could, you know, get physical late, and I thought we did that in some of the red zone stuff. But the film will come to life and tell me more when I get a chance to watch it.
Eric Williams, Fox Sports. Coach, wanted to circle back to Pickens. What was your evaluation of how he played in the red zone, and how will his role continue to evolve as you kind of put together the identity of the offense?
Yeah, you know, he caught 2 touchdowns. One, I think, you know, they called OPI. The other one I couldn't tell was a bang play. You know, the defender came up with the ball, but, you know, again, the matchup, the size, the ability for him to separate when he's covered, you know, is really impressive. And again, the more he and Dak spend time together doing things like that, he's a guy that you have to lean a safety over there. I mean, you have to. I mean, he's too dangerous. And so, you know, again, just his catch radius, his length it's almost second to none. I mean, he just, you know, he came down with one on, we ran a little deep curl, and the receiver, the DB was all over, but he's a big man. And so, again, he just gets more and more confident every day in the things that we're doing, the system and the scheme. And I think that's important because, again, we want to make sure we can move CD around, put him in different spots. And, you know, with what GP's shown, I think that's not going to be a problem at all.
Jeff Cole with Fox 4. Coach, what did you think of Dak's day and just overall disappointing camp? What do you feel about where he's at?
Yeah, again, I love Dak. I love what he's doing. I think, you know, there was one hot that he missed that I know he was sick about. They got us on a pretty good pressure off the backside, but I thought he did a good job. You know, he was, you know, checking the ball down, taking what they gave us. We threw a ton of situations at him in terms of normal D&D, back on track, things like that. But I thought it was a good day. You know, I thought he, you know, did a nice job. The tempo was good, which is always important to us. And again, I'm going to say it again. I mean, we're playing pretty vanilla, and we're just focusing on execution. And can we run block? Can we get open? Can we pass block? And that's the way the preseason is going to go.
Something different about him that you're seeing in this camp that you like compared to maybe last year?
I just think the footwork stuff that he's doing, some of the things he's doing from a footwork standpoint, he's really bought into some of the training and things that we're teaching with some of the different drops and things like that. Steve Shimko's done a great job working with him on that. But, you know, he's so fun to coach because he's always wanting to look for an edge, and he's always willing to try anything.
All right.
Thank you, guys.